Okay, welcome to Durham University's Duo Freshers site for chemistry. So hopefully you've got this far and you can see a screen in front of you that looks like this. This is the main front page and you'll get back to this every time you go to the home page button here. So these buttons down the side allow you to navigate around the Freshers site, and anytime there's any new content put on, so when work starts to appear or handbooks start to come in, you'll see it here. So on the left hand side are any announcements, and check these regularly. So to start with, let's have a look at the content. So I'm just going to click there. And the first thing that we advise you all have a good look at is the first year handbook. So you can access the first year handbook through here, or you can use the tab on the left hand side here. It'll take you to the same document. The first year handbook is the first thing you should read through. Open it as a PDF file here and you'll be able to see all of the information that you need to get you through your first year, and importantly have a look at page 6. Make sure you've carried out these tasks before you arrive. Okay, so to go back, just click on any of these pages here, so back to the home page. The welcome message, you'll see here, is from Professor John Evans. He's the head of the Department of Chemistry, he's everybody's boss here, all the staff, that's our boss. And you'll find a message from him welcoming you to Durham. So please do have a read and note the face. You'll meet Professor Evans in your first day in the department in October. So another way to access the announcements, as well as on the home page that I showed you earlier, is here, and hopefully you've already read these announcements. This is me, Jackie Robson, and
I also need to know what
this is Andy Hughes. You may have met him as the admissions tutor. He's also the Director of Education, so there's a notice here. Please do make sure you checked through that. Okay, so make sure you read those. Moving down, first year handbooks. As we've said, the first year handbook is there. Please don't print it. It's a huge document and we'll give you a hard copy when you arrive in Durham. But if you want to read it before you get here, which we strongly recommend, especially page 6, you click the PDF file there. The next tab down, pre-university work, this is what we'd like you to work through before you arrive in October. Now we don't need to do it all at once, and we will release work over the next few weeks. So please do read things. Any problems at all, please do let me know. The idea is that it prepares you for changes in study techniques and things when you get to university. The first thing we ask you to do, and it is voluntary, but we would really appreciate you filling it in for us, is the teaching and learning, or learning and teaching survey. It'll take you about 20 minutes to complete. The reason for this is we want to know as much as possible about the background of the people coming to us. We want to know about your expectations and the kind of things that you're hoping will happen when you get to university that you're expecting, so we can address that when you arrive. It's also designed to help you think about what we expect of you when you get to university. So it will go through thinking about how much, the lab work, how much time you spend doing study and so on. Underneath that, you'll find over the coming weeks, that's task 1, you'll see task 2, task 3, etc. arriving, and there'll be an announcement to flag that up, so do keep an eye on it. Underneath that, there's some suggested reading. We don't suggest for a second you go out and buy all of these books, but it's to introduce you to the Oxford Chemistry Primer series, which are really good starter textbooks for university students just beginning their courses. The ones we've suggested on this list, for example, bridge the gap between A-level organic chemistry and university, and maybe fill in some gaps. Maybe they're not example specific, so therefore you can have a look and see if there's any bits that you didn't study that you can have a read about. The next one down is the Interactive Lab Primer. Now this is just a website. If you click on this link here, it will take you to a website, and I do recommend that you have a play with it. The Chemistry Interactive Lab Primer is designed to allow you to refresh your memory of all the lab techniques that you will have covered at A-level but may have very varying experiences of, so you'll be able to find a reminder and a refresher on how to do a titration, how to read a burette and things like that. There's a really useful glossary in this resource that I recommend that you use. Do have a play with it. When you arrive at Durham, you'll have access to an even more powerful interactive package that will allow you to practice setting up apparatus. This allows you to have a textbook resource that you can use outside of the laboratory. And Underneath that, to help you with any of the work that we set before you get to university, which will be A-level standard. We want to make sure you're happy and familiar with all your A-level studies. So some of you may have had a gap year. We've given you a link to the Chem Guide resource here, which some of you may already be familiar with. I recommend you have a good look at that. Okay, so on the left hand side again, going down, the useful staff contacts. These are people who you will meet in your first few days in the department. On the right here, this is me talking to you now, and there's my contact details here and my phone number. Underneath, Dr. Hughes, again you'll meet him on the first day. He's the admissions tutor, he's also the Director of Teaching and Learning, and he will be giving you one of your first lecture courses in the department. Dr. David Hodgson underneath is the Director of Undergraduate Studies, so he's in charge of making sure you keep on target, you turn up when you're supposed to, and if you don't, he'll chase you up. He's also there to help if you have any problems. So if you, for example, fall ill while you're at university, he will help sort out, make sure your studies are not affected. You'll notice one of my roles is as first year mentor. There are lots of different roles of staff at a university compared to a school. If you don't know who to contact, use me as your first point of contact, and I'll be able to tell you either the answer or who to get in touch with. The other two people you may meet, unfortunately no picture here, Mr. Unwin, he's the Senior Administrator, which means he's in charge if you need to change courses or alter your registration, and Dr. Rachel Dickens is in charge of, well, for example, she's provided you with the first year handbook, and most people meet Carol at some point too.